Hello everybody. Today we're going to be looking at this 2016 Shelby GT350. We're going to see all the features it has, how it drives, why this car is so good, and is it right for you? Let's dive right in. So starting with the exterior, let's take a look at what this car has. It's got its nice aggressive front end. We got the Shelby badge, the aggressive front Shelby splitter with nice fins right here on the side to give it a nice and aggressive look in the front. Let's be honest, this thing is pretty menacing from the front. Moving on to the wheels, we have 19-inch black painted wheels with the two-piece vented Brembo brakes on the front and the same thing on the rear. Our side mirrors have turn signals on them. Nice little feature to have. Extra little luxury, as you can see. The roof is painted black from factory. It is not wrapped. Goes along with the black and red look. We have a rear view camera along with Shelby badging right here, the sequential turn lights, and of course the quad tip exhaust, helping this thing sound absolutely insane. These little blind spot integrations in the side mirrors, they work like a charm. This way you're able to see everything. Your blind spots, they're all right there visible to you as long as you adjust it to your spec. Also, we have the Sync 3 system with the touch screen. You got all your features here, your audio, climate, hook up your phone. Another cool thing, it's got a voice activated navigation. You got some of your apps right here if you have Apple CarPlay or anything like that. Obviously your settings, mess with all that. Cool thing, it's got heated seats. It's got your full air control right there, temperatures. Moving to the instrument cluster, we also have track apps on this car. So anything, if you're going to the track, driving a little bit more aggressively, you got all of your apps here. See what it has. It got the line lock if you're trying to do some burnouts, warm up the tires, set up your launch control, what RPM you want to launch at, your exhaust mode, normal and sport. If you want to set a shift point, set your RPMs, shift light, all the good stuff. So if you're trying to shift between performance steering modes, suspension modes, they're all right here. You got your mode buttons there. So everything is right in front of you, ready to access, easy to access, ready for you to go whenever you need it to. All right, so right now we have sports steering. We have sports suspension going. Got a little bit of a twisty road right here, so we'll try to see how this thing does. It's pretty cold outside. It's been a cold morning, cold day. Snowed this morning, the roads are dry, but not gonna do anything too crazy with these turns, but we'll see what it does. That sound. This thing just hugs the road. It feels so tight, the steering is super responsive. You feel in control of the car literally at all times. That's just so good. When you have it in the sports suspension setting, you feel all the bumps in the road, but it makes you feel so connected to it, so you're always in control of it. You know how the car is going to go, you feel exactly what the car is doing, so you're not really worried about getting thrown off balance, getting the car out of control or anything like that. And I mean, the car is just super responsive. It's ready to dive into whatever you're throwing at it. I mean, this thing's only sitting at like 3,000 revs right now, so it's got a whole nother half of its power band ready to go. Just too cold to be letting it up all the way. absolutely no body roll. I mean, this isn't exactly the best road right here, but it's got its bumps, but it's not losing any traction. It's still staying planted throughout the bumps. The MagneRide's doing its work. On the technology package, the MagneRide does come with this car, along with the performance-tuned front springs, which you can definitely tell a difference when you're diving it into corners and stuff like that. Out to 8K. I mean, you don't see cars revving out that high, unless of course you're in a Ferrari or something. But let's be honest, this is a $50,000 track car, road car, and for that, I mean, it delivers so much. Just daily driving it, we're cruising through town, not obnoxiously loud. It's tame when it needs to be tame, and it's comfortable. These seats aren't the track pack seats. They're not the Recaros that come with the track pack. I'm still sitting here. It's comfortable. It's hugging me on the sides here, and I have no complaints. You got lumbar adjust here on the side, power seats forward and back. You have to do the lever for the tilt on the back, but other than that, these seats are nice. Got the leather trim on it, some Alcantara pieces in it. It feels cozy. It feels good. The Alcantara wheel is definitely a good touch to these Shelbys. I mean, it just makes it that much more enjoyable to drive. It feels good when you're gripping the wheel. You get more grip if you're tossing it into turns. It's just such a nice car. You got the perfect thumb placements if you're just cruising it right here. Up top, you got a couple little padding, I guess you could say, if you're really getting into it. It feels good. It's a good feel of the car. Backfire action. Love to see it. We'll rev this thing out. We'll see how high we can get it. Get some sound notes for you guys. Because I mean, the Voodoo engine, the 5.2, sounds so good. They did such a good job with this engine. It's so weird to rev a car past like 6. You got 2,000 more revs to play with, and you're just so not used to the car being able to rev out that high. But it feels alive, definitely up in the upper revs. It definitely feels like it's comfortable. That's where it wants to be. All right, let's see how it does from a stop as far as acceleration. Shelbys are so good for that. It's cold outside. The tires obviously aren't going to hook as well. Going through first gear, chopped up a little bit. Granted, the traction's on, but when it gets loose like that, it stays in a straight line. It doesn't go side to side. You don't feel out of control if you're going steep at it. I think that's just a cool thing about Shelbys. They go in a straight line. You don't get sloppy with them. If you're really getting at it, you don't have to worry that in the back of your head that, oh no, this thing's gonna get completely out of control if I floor it too much. No, it's perfectly in control. Cruising 70 right now, 2,000 RPMs. It's chilling. Feels fine. It's not too droney, nothing too aggressive. Of course, you love to hear that good note out of it. You just can't get used to that sound. It's so good, especially in the upper revs. It's not your classic muscle car deep kind of low P type of sound. It definitely feels more refined, high end, almost like European supercar territory, because it is such a good sound. You still get those deep notes when you're low in the revs. As soon as you take it up just a little bit, it definitely highlights all those high notes, those perfectly tuned notes that it has. Probably one of the best sounding V8s, let's be honest. It's got to be up there. Yeah, sitting here, I mean, you're sitting here, it's quiet. It's a tame car when you're driving through town. And that's the cool part about this is when you're just driving it around, it feels great. It feels like you got a road presence, the noise behind you, everything put together is just a perfect symphony of everything. And you get to have fun with it. Like, you want to rev it out a little bit? Thing's ready to go for you. It's always going to be there. The power's there. The agility of it's always there. It's not a boring drive. Like, the car is lively. It's the perfect balance between too tame, too aggressive. It's right in that perfect middle line. Definitely be an enjoyable car to drive every day. And I mean, as far as the interior, you feel good in it. The center console, it's nice and modern. It's not all jumbled up. It's easy to use, to navigate. All your controls are right there. You got this nice material on the steering wheel. You got leather above the dash on both sides. You got leather padding for your elbows here if you're just cruising. It makes it nice and comfortable. Alcantara pieces throughout the car. It's put together really well. You don't really have a blind spot to worry about. You can see everything when you turn back. You have the two integrated side mirrored blind spot little pieces, so you always see what's around you. You don't feel cramped in this thing. It's wide open. It's got the back windows. It feels nice and open. You don't feel cramped in the car. It's a two-door sports car, but you still feel like there's a bunch of space for you to look around, do what you need to do to drive safely. So I mean, it's another cool part. Not like the Camaros that you can't see anything out of the back of. Challengers, they have the same issue. And if you're gonna take this car like on a road trip, do a tour of something, it's a good GT car. The seats are comfortable. You got your lumbar adjust. You adjust it just how you like it. You don't get tired driving this thing. We've been driving probably an hour. Still feel fine. Back doesn't hurt. It's comfortable. You feel good in this thing. And then, like I said, it hugs the road. It dives in with every turn you give it. It's not shy. It's not quiet. If you need it to be aggressive, it'll do that for you. And that's the cool part about this.